Hello and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita, rocker, speaker, author, trainer with SoaringHigher.rocks, and also now involved in a ministry called Take Me As I Am Ministry. And I just want to welcome you back to continue on with a program that would be on attitudes of successful people, of successful workers. And I shared a lot of things with our attitude being positive and knowing that we are capable of doing things we maybe thought we couldn't do or people told us we couldn't do. And again, as I shared last time, in this ministry that I'm working with are women, many with new babies and no daddy person, incarcerated, and they got out of, or maybe they're going into, or they have had an addiction that they're getting through to just kind of start over. The lady who pretty much leads the program, she shared last night her testimony. She's a great woman. She's very smart. She's very professional. And, the things that happened to her kids when they were younger, because she ended up in prison for a few years. I don't know why. I'm not privy to that. But, I mean, it's such a blessing to see how people have changed their lives around, are being successful, going forward, creating their own happy family if they grew up, and a lot of them had trouble with what happened when they grew up, and it influenced their whole lives. One was talking about perfectionism, why she was a perfectionist and a people pleaser. It was because of how she was treated when she was younger, and that was the only way that she could get any kind of positive communication or acceptance even in her family, and it's just drained her. And so we think about that, about anything is possible. We can come out of horrible things we've been through, experienced with our body, our mind, our spirit, and move forward. And so my previous program is really sharing a lot of that too, and just moving forward. So I'll continue on with what a Dr. Martin Seligman had to say in Attitudes of Successful Workers, and I'll say successful people, and on optimism, and discovered that the attitude was a better predictor for success than an IQ or intelligence quotient, how smart we are, or how much our brains are working, and most other factors, and said he found that positive people stay healthier, which has been proven for many, 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 many years is true, because a negative attitude can cause all kinds of disabilities. It's been proven some people have come down with cancer because of just the negativity, the hurt, the pain, a lot of times anger just really ate up their bodies. And people became disabled and crippled and things like that because of the attitude. They just let it take over. And so again, the positive attitude, and a lot of times we have to work on that, but it can really change our lives, help us to build up and work out our talents, to enjoy our lives, but also to share our talents with other people, because we all have talents and abilities that God expects us to use in our own lives to project to other people and to help build them up, and them in return can go out and help other people as well. That's what this world's all about, and that's what we really need right now. So he was saying again that anything is possible, and so if you think you can't, then you won't, because again, that's how I ended last time, was that if we think we can't, we're not even going to try. But we can, and we must, and we can go forward. And then just pray every day, God, help me to see my abilities, my talents. Help me to see myself through your eyes, Lord, because what he can show you is so much different and powerful than what you can see. Because I know there's been times when I just felt like, when I was thinking one time, well, I am a really dumb four-letter word I can't say. And right then I felt like God was saying, who are you calling that? Because if you ask me to take up residence within you, how can you call yourself that? And I realized, well, I'm kind of calling God that because I asked him to come into my life and be my Lord and Savior. And it's like, I am so sorry, Lord. And I just started crying and I said, please forgive me. And so many times I still fight low self-esteem all the time. But so many times we do that, it's like, I asked God to be in my life. I asked Jesus to be my Savior. And what am I doing? And so if nothing else, think about that. I was telling the girls last night when I was with them at the ministry, again, about, because they were talking about forgiveness and unforgiveness and what people had done. And can you let go of this? And I said, well, what God showed me is when this person had really tried to damage me a lot, I hadn't seen her in years. And I said, Lord, you got to help me. I want to forgive her. I want to let go of that. I want to move on. I don't want this back in my head. I want to move forward. And I knew he was telling me, ask me to forgive her through you. Okay. I said, Lord, would you please forgive her through me? Because I need to, I want to move on. I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't want to grudge. Please forgive her through me, which sounds kind of crazy, but I hadn't seen her in years. 2 weeks later, I ran into her and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was all gone. It was all gone. And sometimes it's harder than that, depending on what happened. And I know that for a fact too. But what we can do is anything is possible, including letting go of all of that stuff so we can move on. Just like that gal said last night, it's still affecting her. I'm such a people pleaser. It's like I'm putting everybody in front of myself and I don't have any time for me. And we could really see how just sad she was and how she'd go for a walk, even if it's dark and it's late at night, so she can have a little solitude just to kind of regroup where she doesn't have to do something for someone else. She's just having time with herself. And so we have to, anything is possible, but we have to focus on it. We have to go forward with it. So again, no task is too small to do well. And I just, in case you didn't hear the last program, just quickly, we were talking last night, and this one lady worked with disabled people, and so she has to bathe them. She has to wipe them all up and clean them up. And she said she even has to clean the toilets because the younger people that's really assigned to, because she's like a supervisor, won't do it. So she does that too because they felt it was menial to them and they just didn't want to do it. And so we were all building her up, telling her what a beautiful soul she is because she is willing to do those things that are very unpleasant. And I said, yeah, the Bible talks about doing our work heartily is unto him, not man. And so, that she's serving people who cannot help themselves, and what a blessing that is. So we never want to demean a person's position or their lack of education. I have a friend I went to high school with, and I remember when I ran into her several years ago, after not seeing her for many years, and she handed me her business card, and I was like, wow, she was vice president of a particular area in media with a very large advertising agency that used to be in Omaha. And it was like, and she told me later, she said, here she is a vice president. She traveled all over, fantastic job. Not 1 hour of college, not one. She started out there just doing, as a clerk in the accounting department and went up to be a vice president. So again, no task is too small. Had she just kind of been humdrum about, I'll just, do my additions of whatever she was doing in accounting, she might have stayed there her whole life. But she took those small things, was very diligent to work and go forward and to learn. So from not 1 hour of college to a vice president of a very large, successful company. So again, no task is too small. We build skills in those small tasks and keep adding those to our list of experiences that we can not only build our own lives up, but help other people to build their lives up as well. So another one was everyone is a potential key contact. So when we go out places, we want to be alert, we want to be kind, we want to be interested in other people, not just about ourselves. But you never know when you might run into someone who will be a contact for a person that you're actually meant to meet, whether it's meant to work for them or for them to provide something for you or to be a friend. A lot of times I've met a friend by being out doing something else and we clicked and then we just had a friendship. And so think about that. Everyone is a potential key contact to an important area of your life. Maybe it's someone who's a single mom or dad and you're the same. And so you're out watching a kid's baseball game, or you're out, whatever the case may be, some sort of meeting, and you two meet and you connect and you talk, and it ends up to be a really good relationship, being courteous, being interested in them, finding out what they do, not always just talking about what you do all the time, but connecting with someone. So think about everyone as a potential key contact to a new job, a new friendship, a new roommate. I mean, whatever the case may be. So then they want to be on your team. They want to be part of your life because they see you are projecting good attitude, positive things, maybe helpful comments, helpful directions and guidance, and then maybe they're doing the same back to you. So that's such a way that always, you are a brand, and I'll mention that later, but we're all a brand. What kind of brand are we? Because you think of a brand as being a can of something or a package of something, or a company. And what is their brand? What are they doing? Well, what is your brand? What are you doing? How are you coming off to other people? Because again, people will judge us within the first 7 seconds of meeting us. They'll think all kinds of things about what is our self-image, our outlook on life, our economic and educational levels, our trustworthiness, our social position, our future success. People are thinking about that within the first 7 seconds. So always know, when you're out there, you are a brand. So what kind of brand do you want to project and give off to other people? Because we want to draw the positive ones, no more negatives. We don't want to draw negative people who are detrimental to us and our lives and our families. We want to draw on the positive people. So think about ways that you can improve your brand. Okay, one of the books that I've written is Creating Your Own Destiny, Power Steps for Mind, Body Renewal. And that one also talks a lot about becoming a new brand. Spirit, soul, and body, how you think, how you look, how you speak, what you want to talk about. It's been interesting as I've talked to other people, made different friendships. A few of us are saying, yeah, we really appreciate the fact that the other person wants to talk about interesting things. I'm trying to spend a lot more time on YouTube just learning. Like as old as I am, I want to be a lifelong learner. And people are saying, yeah, when you get around this group of people, all they talk about is who went out with who and this and that, and nothing means anything. And so it's really fun when you start learning things, start watching more educational programs, get fascinated. And I don't care if it's science, if it's more the temperaments and the personalities, which I love to learn about, but anything like that. And then you can talk to people really intelligently about all kinds of subjects, and it's fun. And then we kind of let go of who's doing what with who and all that kind of thing, and really build our lives up and make new friends and new job opportunities. So think about lifelong learning. If you are tired, which I get at night, maybe you just want to sit and watch some TV, maybe watch an hour of something kind of brain numbing, but not violent or anything like that, just to kind of relax, and then turn on something, Google a subject. You can find anything and everything on YouTube that would be really helpful. I was learning about being a stoic, which, the strong, powerful, stubborn, whatever, and then somatics, which I like, what is that? And it's on kind of like our nervous system and how things have affected us and have affected our bodies because of things we've gone through. So I started studying on somatics and realized that I had PTSD stuck in the back of my subconscious. And it's really fascinating. So think about those things that you can learn, because we can all learn, and then share those things with other people and build great communication, great relationships with positive people that we can help build each other up in this life instead of tear down. So, and think about, I was made to do this job that I want or I'm working at, but also the one above that. And so I read before too, if you want to have the position that someone above you wants, what do? And that you're basically qualified, but maybe you need to learn more skills first. How do they dress? How do they talk? Is it a lot different? How do they treat people? And you start watching the person of where you want to be. Just like it says, I've heard on like relationships, if somebody wants a new relationship, don't be, if you're trying to get someone out there, the one you really want, then you need to be the one that you want yourself to be, because this person will be attracted to who they want. And if it's not the same, so it's kind of like, okay, I need to be who a good quality Christian person, for instance, would want, not where I am right now. If I've got a lot of work to do on myself, I need to do that. So I will become the one that this person would really want, this quality person, or I would become the one that this company I want to work for so badly wants, because I've taken the steps, I've done the work to get out of where I am and actually become the one that's going to attract the right manager, the right boss, the right company, the right person, whatever the case may be. So again, it takes work, but always work on becoming that person, that better, stronger, wiser person in whatever areas that you need to work on and want to be with. And so think about that and do the one above you. So always think about promotion, research about that particular area, so that you can collaborate with other people on creating something new, creating something better and good. So it's not what I know, but who I know. And that is almost sometimes not a good thing, because yes, we have to know the right people in order to get into the right situations, because they can bring us into those. Although too many times we've all seen someone who knew someone else got into a job, a position, a lot of that in the political world, not because they deserved it or they should have had it, but because who they knew took them into that position. So I'm certainly not saying, oh, it's who you know. You got to kind of rub elbows with this person to get into this company. But what it is getting out there and meeting new people. It could be, you're great creating kids games, and so you might want to go to places where there's church events, carnivals, schools where they have activities for kids, after school places where kids go until the parents are done, and so they need entertainment. And so again, who do you know there? You might meet people there that actually can connect you with someone, or a parent comes in and you can tell that they're the type of person you want to know, and maybe they have a job opening where they are. So you never know what connections are going to happen. And so think about who you know is being something that's very good, very positive, that will bring you into new realms, because it happens all the time, but in a good and honest and awesome way. Think of who you know, who do you want to know. Start opening doors, start volunteering for places, maybe work for a charity, food bank, volunteer, do things like that, where a lot of times there's always fundraisers for all kinds of organizations who are helping people with all kinds of illnesses, disabilities, homeless, etc. You volunteer for those. Maybe you would meet the perfect person for you who has their lives together, and they're also a volunteer. So think of connections of political parties. I won't even get into that, but if you're involved in that, there may be things that you can do to connect you with the people you want to actually be around, to be the kind of person you want to turn into or to be and to go forward. So then also think, what else can I do? Okay, so he's saying here, since you are in charge of your destiny, it's your job for ways to improve your personal and professional life. And that is so true. I see all these coaches, all these programs going on right now. Oh, this is a free program. And they give you a lot of meat to use, but then to get the real crux of the whole thing, of course, you have to sign up for a program. But there's so many even free programs where you're learning a lot to get you started and motivated, whether it's, again, to be an entrepreneur or something else. So think about that. Maybe it's there's a project at work and you're not really on that project team, but you can see that the people on the team are like overwhelmed, they're working late, they're tired, they're frustrated. And if it's something that you can do, volunteer. Because if you volunteer to help a team or help other people, they're going to love you for it. They're going to appreciate it. And also what that can do then is you're learning new skills for your step up the ladder. So look at things like that as a step up the ladder for you to do that, because you're getting known by more people, maybe from other departments as well, and you're learning new skills to add to your resume and to help you get promoted into something you'd much rather do. So think about things like that. What else can I do? How can I help? And that's kind of what I'm doing in this new area with these women. And so learn a new skill to make it more marketable. And that is so true. It could be something physical, mental, whatever the case may be. Learn a new skill and see where that takes you, because it will help build you up and it'll build your confidence up. So many times we lack confidence. Well, I don't know how to do this. Well, if there's an opportunity to learn something by volunteering to help, then that's going to build your confidence. And many of us need to continue to build our confidence as we increase our skills and we increase our circle of people that we know and trust and the ones that we want to work with. So stay late to help coworkers, meet something new, expand a skill, and just think about any other ways that you can work to really move forward in your life. Another one is failure to help pave the way to success. Now, over the months, I've shared many, many testimonies of so many people, from Einstein to Michael Jordan and Thomas Edison and everybody else, that failed, was kicked off the team, etc. And it's like, no, that does not define who I am, because sometimes it's like, well, I failed. Okay, I tried again. I failed again. So I guess that means I'm just a big failure, so I give up. No, don't give up. I am a former Mrs. Nebraska. I'm not meaning anything other than that. It was a tough year since my husband had died then. But I remember one of the gals who competed for the title 11 years. She was not going to give up. She competed for 11 years because that was her dream. And so then 11th year she won. And so many of us from the past were very excited for her for the fact that she did not give up. That was her dream. And so she thought, I don't care how many times I have to do this. I'm going to keep doing it until I win. And so she did. So she's a really good example of however many times we feel like we're a failure, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I have another friend, a good friend, and she's been working for years on her music and her singing, and it was just like so many frustrations and so many just little things here and there that were happening. And now she's going to be flying to Mexico and being a judge and performing and doing all these things that she's wanted to do for years. Why? Because she was not going to give up on her dream. And so none of us should ever, ever do that. It's there. If it's supposed to happen, then that dream will stay in you and it won't leave you. So if it's still bugging you and it's still there and it's still desire in your heart, then that's something, don't ever let go of it, no matter what. Keep thinking about it, keep pursuing it, and keep moving on. So, and then just know that we learn from our mistakes. A lot of people have made serious mistakes. You see some of the wealthiest people that have gone bankrupt 2 or 3 times. I mean, we're talking multimillionaires and all of that. But we learned from that. Abraham Lincoln was 32 years of mostly agony before he became president. He didn't give up. That was his calling, to be that. And so, I've seen so many stories of people that ended up homeless, and yet they became wealthy powerhouses. Why? Because they weren't going to let, oh, I'm homeless, gee, here I am, I'm in a mess again. And so I might as well quit trying. I guess I'll just live like this the rest of my life. No, it's like, I'm not going to live the rest of this way by my life. So instead of just wallowing in it, they go, no, I'm not doing that. I will never do that. I will never go through this again. And so homeless to multimillionaire, That's possible. It's been done by many, many people because they weren't going to give up and they did the hard work necessary to move forward. People that, like I said, with the bankruptcies and everything else, like, no, that does not define me. Too many times we let a failure or heartache or things that have been done to us tell us that, we're just not worthy of anything. Instead, it's just the opposite. We are so worthy. You are so worthy, and you can do it. And don't let anybody or anything that's happened to you define you, because so many times we do. I'm a former felon. I'm a dummy. I flunked out of this. I'm a hopeless person. Nobody's ever, no. None of that can ever define you. Remember, you're a child of God, and if he is in you, you're made in his image, the image of the one who created the whole entire universe and all of us and everything in it. You can't be a failure. You're made in his image. And so never let anything negative define who you are, your worth, or what you can achieve in your life, because you can achieve whatever you set your mind to, and there's too many miracle stories for me to say any differently than that. And so be your own biggest fan, not your own biggest enemy. Be your biggest fan. Give yourself a high five in the mirror and recognize your talents. And nobody wants to listen to a bragger, but at the same time, build yourself up, speak confidently, and know whose you are, and ask God to speak through you. If you're nervous, he will do that. He's done that for me a lot. So be blessed, and I look forward to continuing on this next time.